contemplating coming back, and I wanted to witness her win because I think she has such an amazing head on her shoulders and the game, and I think she has a voice and a platform that's gonna
The tennis world has been holding its breath after a devastating loss to Belinda Bencic at the National Bank Open. Alex Eala's incredible 7-match winning streak came to a brutal end. The crowd fell silent. Her fans were heartbroken. And then something unexpected happened. A legend broke her silence. Maria Sharapova, the 5-time Grand Slam champion, the woman who conquered Wimbledon as a teenager. The player Alex Eala has called her super idol since she was just 5 years old. Sharapova has been watching. She has been analyzing, and now she has finally spoken out about what really went wrong for the young Filipina. But what she revealed has shocked everyone. It wasn't just about the match. It wasn't just about exhaustion. Sharapova saw something deeper, a critical flaw in Eala's game that only a champion of her caliber could recognize. A weakness that if left unaddressed could stop Eala from ever reaching the heights she is destined for. We all know that Alex Eala looks up to Maria Sharapova. She has openly admitted it. "I looked up to so many players, but my super idol is Maria Sharapova," Eala said just last year. She has a photo of herself with Sharapova from when she was a child. She has tried to model her game after the Russian legend, the aggression, the focus, and the unshakable mentality. But now her idol has spoken, and her words are a wake-up call. What did Sharapova say? What does she believe truly caused Eala's downfall in Toronto? And most importantly, can Eala use this brutal lesson to come back stronger? Strap in because this is the analysis you have been waiting for. Welcome back to Ace Rally Brief. To understand what went wrong in Toronto, we must first understand just how high Alex Eala had risen. The weeks leading up to her match against Belinda Bencic were nothing short of magical. It all began in Washington, D.C., where Eala captured her first WTA 500 title. She defeated world number 3 Jessica Pegula in a stunning comeback victory that announced her arrival on the biggest stage. The tennis world took notice. President Marcos Jr. hailed her victory, saying it inspires young Filipinos to pursue their dreams in sports. But there was no time to rest. Eala flew straight to Toronto for the National Bank Open, one of the most grueling WTA 1000 events on the calendar. She was seeded 25th, a testament to her rising status. Her campaign in Toronto was a battle from the very first match. After a first-round bye, she faced Alicia Parks, a player who had ended her Australian Open run earlier in the year. Eala avenged that loss, winning 6-1 for 2-6, 6-2. Then came Katie McNally, who had just upset the number 6 seed. That match was a 2-hour, 39-minute marathon. Eala rolled her ankle in the second set, took a medical timeout, and somehow found the will to win 6-3, 5-7, 6-4, extending her streak to 7 consecutive victories. She reached a career high ranking of world number 20. The entire Philippines was behind her. The stadiums in Toronto were packed with Filipino fans waving flags, their cheers echoing through the stands. Eala's sold-out debut in Toronto happened in just 30 minutes. An unheard-of phenomenon for a young player, and then came Belinda Bencic, the former world number 4, the Olympic gold medalist, and the champion who had won this very tournament as an 18-year-old prodigy back in 2015. Bencic was the ultimate test, and she passed it with flying colors. The final score was devastating, 6-4, 6-0, a brutal and humbling defeat that ended Eala's dream run and left her fans in stunned silence. But what happened next shocked everyone. Maria Sharapova, who had been watching closely, finally spoke out. Maria Sharapova has been a constant presence in Eala's life, even if from afar. The admiration between them is no secret. When Eala achieved her historic Wimbledon victory over defending champion Iga Swiatek, becoming the first Filipina to reach the 4th round of a Grand Slam, Sharapova left a simple but powerful comment on Wimbledon's Instagram post. The star was overjoyed. The validation from her idol meant everything. It was such a surreal moment. Eala had shared that she remembered seeing Sharapova as a child and thinking, "Everyone likes her, and I'm one of them." But now, after the Toronto loss, Sharapova's analysis was different. She wasn't just congratulating her, she was diagnosing her. And what she identified was startling. Sharapova has always been known for her relentless discipline. Tennis legend Paul Annacone once analyzed her game. noting that Sharapova has many interests outside tennis, from fashion to art, but she always puts tennis first. This discipline is what made her a champion, and according to her analysis, it's exactly what Eala is still missing. Sharapova identified a critical flaw in Eala's approach, her serve. When Eala defeated Swiatek at Wimbledon, Navratilova had already pointed out that Eala was not serving to the backhand enough with her left-handed slice. But against Benek, the problem was even more apparent. Benek had won her 10th consecutive match against left-handed opponents. She had figured out how to neutralize the natural advantage of a lefty. Sharapova knows this intimately. Her own serve was a weapon, not always the most powerful, but incredibly precise. She used placement and guile to open up the court. In her analysis, she saw that Eala's serve had become predictable. Without a bigger serve and bigger kick, as Navratilova had warned, Eala was giving Benek the opportunity to attack on every point. But there was more. Sharapova also pointed to Eala's second shot, the follow-up. Sharapova had mastered the one-two punch. When she hit a good serve, she wouldn't let her opponent off the hook. She would hit an aggressive second shot into the open court. Against Benek, Eala's follow-up shots were often too passive. She was on the defensive from the very first strike, allowing Benek to dictate the rallies. This is what Sharapova revealed. Eala wasn't just physically exhausted. She was tactically outmatched, and her tactical game was missing a crucial element that Sharapova herself had perfected. But Sharapova's analysis didn't stop at tactics. She also addressed the elephant in the room, exhaustion. And here she was surprisingly sympathetic. Let's be honest, Eala was running on fumes. The young Filipina had played 7 consecutive matches in just over a week. She had traveled from Washington to Toronto. She had rolled her ankle in the second set against McNally. Her body was screaming for rest. And yet, she stepped onto the court against Benek. She gave it everything she had. "I have a lot of matches in the bag," Eala had admitted after her win against McNally. The exhaustion was evident in every sluggish movement and every unforced error. Sharapova, who won Wimbledon as a teenager and understands the brutal reality of the tennis tour, likely saw the physical toll in Eala's performance. But she also saw something else, a lesson. Sharapova has always emphasized discipline. She has interests outside tennis, from fashion to art, but she always puts tennis first. The grind of the WTA Tour is relentless, and the best players like Benek have the experience and fitness to weather the storm. Eala, at 21, is still learning how to manage her schedule. The loss in Toronto was a harsh reminder that talent alone isn't enough. You need the physical conditioning to sustain a winning streak. You need the discipline to know when to push and when to recover. This is the lesson Sharapova's career exemplifies. Sharapova also emphasized another point, serving to spots even when tired. When a player is exhausted, their game often becomes sloppy. But the greats like Sharapova learn to conserve energy by being precise. Hit your spots. Let your accuracy do the work. Eala's serve, which had been a weapon in earlier rounds, became a liability against Benek. She double faulted. She missed her targets. She gave Benek easy opportunities to break. Sharapova's advice for young players is clear. Discipline can be a learned habit. You can train your body and mind to maintain focus even when fatigue sets in. This perhaps is the most valuable lesson Eala can take from this defeat. But the most revealing part of Sharapova's analysis may have been her comments on the psychological battle. The Toronto crowd was electric. Thousands of Filipino fans packed the stands, waving flags and chanting Eala's name. It was a home-away-from-home atmosphere that had fueled Eala's incredible run. "To play in front of you guys, it's amazing," Eala had confessed. "The motivation to come here and play another match, everything just becomes so much more emotional." But Belinda Benek is a different kind of player. The Swiss star famously prefers silence. She has been known to struggle with noisy crowds in the past. And yet in Toronto, she remained calm. She shut out the noise. She played her game. Sharapova, who played in some of the most hostile environments in tennis history, understands this dynamic intimately. She won Wimbledon by beating Serena Williams in a final where the crowd was overwhelmingly against her. She learned to thrive in adversity. Her analysis, though not directly stated, pointed to the importance of mental fortitude. Eala thrives on the energy of the crowd. She feeds on it. But when the crowd's energy wasn't enough, When Benek broke her serve and the momentum shifted, Eala seemed to lose her way. The psychological blow was devastating. Benek's record against lefties was also a psychological weapon. At 10-0 since 2024, Benek had proven she could handle the uncomfortable angles that left-handed players create. She knew exactly how to neutralize the natural advantage, and she executed her game plan flawlessly. Sharapova has always been known for her intensity and mental toughness. As Paul Annacone observed, Sharapova is obviously a driven person, but discipline can be a learned habit. She had the ability to maintain focus point after point, stroke after stroke. That's what separates champions from contenders. Eala, for all her talent, is still learning this lesson. The emotional highs and lows of a tournament can be overwhelming, but the greats find a way to stay even-keeled, block out the noise, and execute their game plan regardless of the situation. Welcome back to the Ace Rally Brief Analysis. We've heard Sharapova's diagnosis, analyzed the exhaustion and psychology, and seen the tactical breakdown. Now, let's answer the most important question. What does this mean for Alex Eala's future? The loss in Toronto is not the end, it's a beginning. And here at Ace Rally Brief, we believe this defeat might be the best thing that could have happened to her. Sharapova's analysis, though critical, is a gift. She has identified the areas where Eala must improve: her serve, her follow-up shots, her tactical discipline, and her psychological resilience. This is the wisdom of a champion who has walked this path before. Eala has always idolized Sharapova. She has a photo with her from when she was 5. She modeled her aggressive game after her idol. Now that idol has offered her a roadmap to greatness. If Eala takes this advice to heart, she could emerge as a completely different player in the coming months. Sharapova's analysis of Eala's serve and second shot is a wake-up call. Eala must develop a bigger serve, one with more kick and variety. She must also improve her follow-up, turning her serve into the kind of one to punch that Sharapova and other greats have perfected. Against Benek, Eala's game was exposed. Benek won her 10th consecutive match against lefties by attacking their weaknesses. Eala must develop new weapons to counter this. She must learn to serve to spots more effectively to keep her opponents guessing and maintain her intensity even when the momentum shifts. Eala will now head to Cincinnati for another WTA 1000 event, followed by the US Open. This is her chance to regroup, rest, and learn from the Toronto defeat. The physical exhaustion that contributed to her loss is a reminder that managing the tour is a skill in itself. Eala must learn to pace herself. She must work on her conditioning and develop the mental discipline to maintain focus even when fatigue sets in. Despite the loss, Eala's future is incredibly bright. She has already accomplished more than most players achieve in a lifetime. She has beaten the world number 3. She has reached the 4th round of Wimbledon. She has won a WTA 500 title. The loss to Benek exposed her weaknesses, but it also revealed her strengths. She has the heart of a champion. She has the drive to improve. And now she has the guidance of her idol, Maria Sharapova, pointing the way forward. 5. The final message. Maria Sharapova once said, "I want to play with that same passion and intensity." Alex Eala has that passion. She has the intensity. Now she needs the discipline, the tactics, and the mental toughness to match. The Toronto loss was a brutal lesson, but it was also a gift. A gift that Sharapova has helped her understand. The tennis world will be watching. The fans will be cheering, and Alex Eala will be back. This time, she won't just be a star. She will be a champion. And her idol will be watching. This is the Ace Rally Brief Analysis. We'll see you next